You know, I've been using computers for a very long time, and even back before I knew what right-clicking did, there's always something that's been bugging me, and that is, it seems like nobody that I've ever known knows how to play Minesweeper. And I have to question why, because this is not a difficult game to figure out. And if you go to this, if you go in the help menu, you can find, like, instructions that teach you how to play it. I guess nobody cared enough, but really, if I ever played this at school or even in front of my own mom, I would always get reactions like, "Oh my god, you can play that game? I never figured out how." Okay, if you know how to play it now, if you already know how to play it, you can ignore this, but seriously, if you don't know how, just listen, because it isn't hard at all. First, you click around randomly. If you're lucky, you get a big open spot like this. And what do these numbers mean? Well, they tell you how many mines are nearby. So, the best thing to do is start out with a corner. You see a 1, one of the 8 blocks around it must have a mine, and since obviously none of these do, it must be this one. So you can mark that with a flag with the right click. Now, you can clear out ones around it, like for example this, because you have a 1, there's the one touching it, so that means that one can't have it. So you can just clear it out. Or, what I like to do is right-click and left-click at the same time on a number if you have the correct number of flags next to it, and it will clear out all the adjacent ones, like this. So, you just sort of continue in that fashion, using logic and not being a dumbass. And I was a dumbass. Okay, let's forget that happened. And let's do a different one, and hopefully I will not make a stupid mistake again, and I'm just going to sort of complete a whole game of it to show that it isn't impossible. I'm doing it on the intermediate difficulty because if I did it on expert it would take too long. That's really all there is to it. You just sort of keep doing this, and once in a while you will come across a situation where it's practically impossible to figure out what's the mine and what's not, and you have to just guess. It doesn't happen very often, though. Like, I don't know, we'll see if it happens this time. We can hope that it doesn't. Got a nice big open spot there. I know this must be very boring to watch, and I apologize for that. But I thought that I would be doing people a favor by showing them how to play a very easy game that they could have figured out on their own. Okay, let's see here. Here's a spot where it isn't immediately obvious. Here's a 3, so one of these two must be a mine. I don't know which. Here's a 4, so one of these two must be a mine. I don't know which. I could assume that it's the same for both, but assuming generally isn't a good thing to do. So here we've got 2 1s. And let's see, that means one of these two has to be 1. You can mark them with question marks if you like. I generally don't do that. My guess, this is completely a guess, but my guess is that since the 3 has to be one of these two, I don't even know. This is one of those situations where you either have to think about it for a long time or you have to make a random guess. And those situations suck, but let's see. Okay, I got lucky there. I took a risk and I guess it paid off. If I had waited longer, I probably could have figured it out without having to take a risk, but like I said, I'm kind of in a hurry here. I don't want to be taking ages to do this. So we just keep going. Almost done. And I solved it, hooray. Big deal.